Badoo. Badoo. Badoo.
Hey, that was really weird. I didn't actually get a call.
I didn't either.
I just got a pop-up saying, hey, there is a call.
Yeah, that was odd.
Silly Discord.
Carl, did you trim your beard? Oh, you got a haircut, totally, didn't you?
He got his ears
Yeah,
lowered.
really good. I was gonna say, I was like, damn, Carl looks good today.
He's ready for travel. This is
Sorry.
travel prepared.
Carl looks even better than normal today. I don't mean you look bad normal. You know it.
Hey, Brandon.
Good morning.
So I wore this shirt today for Patrick since he's streaming Dark Souls 3. So
Nice.
Awesome.
I don't
So,
think he's out there right now.
No, Patrick is was my roommate in college for 2.5 years of college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have I met him? I want to say I met him at PAX once, but maybe not.
Probably.
No, he lives in Hawaii.
Oh, okay. I know.
He has been to Seattle a number of times since college, but
yeah. Is he in your Star Wars campaign?
No.
Okay.
Oh my god, that would probably be hard. We've been talking. Like, what's the time difference to Hawaii from here? Is it 2 or 3 hours?
3 hours, I think.
3, I think.
it's
Yeah.
3. So awesome. We'd have someone 3 hours behind us,
And
I
3
have a
hours.
person ahead of us.
Awesome.
Why would that be bad? I mean, he's 13 hours from me right now.
I am
It's
amazed.
literally
how
almost the
clear
other side
your
of the
signal is.
planet.
Your connection is better than it is at home right now.
It really is.
I know. I
are-
just had this conversation today at a restaurant. So, like just down the road, I went to a restaurant and I got a Greek salad, and we were talking and everything, and I said that I can. She's like, "How long are you here?" I'm like, 5 weeks. She says, "Wow," and I say, I'm working here, etc. And then I told her, I was like, the internet is amazing here in Greece. And she's like, yeah, everywhere has internet. She says, for the restaurant, they have a combo deal of phone line and internet for 30 euros a month. And it's like the internet. And I'm thinking, are you kidding?
Wow.
$50 a month just for internet. And it's crap at my house.
Yeah.
Like, what? All I can think is, F all those damn monopolies. Like, can't
Yes,
stand.
correct.
It makes me so mad. She's like, oh, if you work from the internet, you can work anywhere from Greece. The internet here. I'm like, oh, yes.
I guess I'm not
understand
coming
this."
back.
I know, right?
Time to stay in Greece.
Hey, you guys. So, can I write off anything for my work for better internet? Working from here? No, anyway.
All
Yeah,
right.
I hope you guys got to see that video, by the way, of the wedding. That was ridiculous.
Oh, with the gunshots, yeah.
Yes, it was so funny.
I was like, was that gunfire? And then you move the camera over. I'm like,
Yep. They had shotguns and they were shooting into the air to celebrate the wedding. I was like, am I gonna die? It's cool.
Maybe inadvertently.
It's raining buckshot. Hallelujah.
Yeah,
Um,
check it out if you get a chance. Anyway, sorry for interrupting.
No problem. All right, let's get rolling. So, shall we jump straight into some planning?
Let's do it.
let's do it.
Okay, so quick review of the board as it stands, and let's see if there are any things we would like to resize before we jump into what is in the backlog. So in doing, we got a couple bugs that are still there.
All right, that one's being done.
Which one?
The more fuel thing is quite a big rewrite.
Okay.
It takes it's not just fixing that bug. It's fixing the entire resource system back.
Yeah. Changing the back end. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm moving that one back into bugs, and then we can scope it and figure out when we're going to do it. Do we feel that there is a big enough impact here that we should break this card down for this release?
I mean, it completely messes with the balance of the game. because every
That's
resource
okay.
will have this problem.
No, I
The
think
game isn't really balanced right now.
No,
Yeah,
but
I
I
think
mean,
it's
when
fine.
we get to the point of balancing, this will produce really bad effects where abilities won't actually take the number of resources that they say they will.
Okay.
They'll give you
Oh.
resources randomly. Like it will
Okay, so
break the game in that way.
So let's rewrite this card to describe what that is, and then let's add it to the backlog, and we can prioritize it in when we decide to.
Okay.
So what does this card actually need to say?
It needs to say. I mean, when it basically
Like
comes down to
refactor resource pools.
Yes, refactor resource pools between ships. Because that is
we wanna-
completely broken right now.
Okay.
Actually, never mind. I was gonna say something, but I completely disagree with myself. So
All right, so we're going to rewrite this from a bug. We're going to eliminate bug. Is there anything additional from the description perspective, like that you want to make it clear so everybody understands?
When a ship doesn't have resources for its own abilities, how and when does it get resources from other ships?
yeah, and actually, that goes into the whole. Do you remember how we had a discussion about idle stuff and how we wanted to talk about shuttles and how they would automatically do things, but they wouldn't
Yes.
proactively do things? I feel like that's
Possible.
kind of
There's design time in this, definitely.
yeah. I feel like it's dipping into that, and I think it would be important to discuss that.
Yes.
I feel like that'd be really beneficial for the game.
Yes.
Okay.
There are some bigger pieces here to solve.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that, and then I'm going to move this to sprint planning in the backlog. Okay. So we have build installation menu only shows things you have the resources to build, should show things you could build even without having the resources. Do you feel like that one's still reasonable and just a bug?
So I fixed it.
Okay.
It worked correctly. However, the reason I didn't move it into validate is because you cannot get a tooltip showing you what resources you are missing on a installation that you can build but don't have the resources for it right now. So
Yeah.
I want to do something about that. I was working on that earlier. It was frustrating me that I could not get it to work, so I stopped working on it.
Okay.
But,
so we're going to leave that there. Do we want
yeah,
to size?
I think-
Do you feel like it's enough work to size, or is it still a bug? Okay.
I don't, and the reason I say that is because this is something that's been a consistent issue across all parts of the UI. Is that when something is enabled equals false, it just doesn't do the tooltip behavior, and so we need to figure out a solution for that.
Okay. All right, so we'll leave that there. We have as a potential playtester, I would like a video that gives me a cursory understanding of what ish is about. We have that sized at a 5. Brandon, do you feel that's still accurate?
I don't think so, but I did have trouble figuring out how to get those boxes around the elements, so I may have to just re-record and get the cursors on.
Okay.
But
so it could still be a 5 then.
Maybe a 5, probably more like a 3.
Okay. Do you want to size it or do you want to ride with it?
Let's just ride with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a player, I'd easily like to identify the ish executable with an icon or less garbage in the folder. That's a 2. That was a 2 when we were creating it. Is everybody comfortable with me dropping this to a 1 because I just need to implement the icon?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Sounds good.
All right. In the back, we had initial long range scanning at an 8. Do we still feel that's an 8?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been touched, has it?
No.
It has today, but I think leaving it at an 8 is probably appropriate.
Okay. As a developer, I'd like to debug menu sized at a 5. Do we still feel that's a 5?
That has not been touched, so yeah, I still think it's a 5.
Okay. As an engineer, I want the ability to use doobers to really clearly draw my attention. That's sized at a 2. We still feel that's a 2.
Yeah, a 2, I think, right now, just to make it generic.
Okay. Production show week 32 is left at a 1.
I mean,
that should be a 1.
Yeah.
Okay. As an employee, I want a clear guide to how to have consistent voice. Is still sized at a 3.
Yeah, I need to do that. I'm actually moving the playtest above it, which is
Good.
pretty minor right here. But like, I plan to do the playtest thing pretty quick.
Good.
This morning, I think it's still a 5 because it'll be revised a bunch, but the initial pass should be done today.
Cool. Very good. Thanks, Carl. So that's a 3. As an employee, I want company PR assets. So we dropped off of this. So we're just going to keep writing this in the backlog, I assume, and chipping away at it without sizing.
Yep.
Okay. As you need things, ping me and I will carve up what we need to carve up.
Yep.
And then maybe in our one-on-one this week, you can identify ones that you feel like are ready now.
Yep.
Of course, you'll be traveling, but
well, I mean, we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I don't know if I want to talk to you.
That's
see.
fair. You'll just talk to Hero.
Yes.
Good.
Okay. As a player, I would like to see the credits. That's a 2. Do we still feel that's a 2 and we want to do it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a 2.
Start, look, and feel experimentation. We do feel like we'll still hear back by this Friday on more stuff here.
Yes, I believe that is when we will hear back, or sometime this week we will hear back.
Cool. As a Draconian Supreme Leader, I would like Ghostly Bear Games website that meets Tyson's new art, look, and feel. I think that is still a 5 and is still doable. As a web dev, I need content. This is not a 5 anymore. So this is probably like a 2. Does anyone want to size this? You can go through all the details, or are you guys comfortable with me just taking it to a 2?
Looks like a 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dutiful.
Oh. Engineering video,
It's
weeks
one more
33
than wonderful.
33 and
Oh
34.
my god.
Okay, this one is not sized. Engineering video weeks 33 and 34. Brandon, you want to talk about what is to be done on these, and then we'll size it?
So this card, I think we should actually just remove because we didn't make any of this content. Because we also didn't need to make. We didn't really have engineering tasks that lined up with this.
It was an engineering task, and there was a weird thing that George was out during that day. I was the only coder there for the day that this normally would have happened.
Yes.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, we have to.
You weren't around, but no, you were like it was middle of the week. You really were just like gone. Will is not here. So
Yeah.
I was
so
like,
you could've
oh,
made a little like stick face and had a conversation and recorded it. I mean,
exactly.
Little rubber duck. No.
So what I've started doing, or what I did for the next sprint's planning, is that I just put 2 general video slots so that we can record the content, but in terms of the deliverable that we actually need to get done per week, we only really need 1 video done per week. Right?
Okay.
So I'm just going to start doing that because I think it'll better indicate where we're actually going to generate content.
So kill this card.
Yes.
Killed. Then, all right, let's jump into the backlog then. Hold it. No. Yes. No. I duplicated. There we go. All right, so we had Carl. Do you want to take a quick moment and run through release 5 and stack rank it, and then we'll talk about the backlog and see where they fit, if they fit.
Which board are we on again? Is it the sprint planning
We're now on
board?
planning.
Yep, we're on the sprint planning board. I will paste it into the chat.
Okay. Thank you. I just like to have it open separately. Aside from
No, totally.
Trello.
I have to do
Trello.
that too.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right.
5 is done.
Okay, and then on the backlog, I'm assuming this is probably the right order. The resource pools are probably first, and then a log or presentation of what's happened in a system after I've jumped, then ship captains, then build feedback.
So my
Yeah.
my controversial recommendation is we actually deprioritize the refactor resource pools and sort of eat the potential breakages, because I think the things that we need to get done from an engineering standpoint are more important, and that could be a good thing to have whenever Will comes back, or we can jump on it next sprint.
I would agree that the other engineering tasks are higher priority.
Okay, cool. Interesting. All right, good. Okay, so do we want to factor any of these in from the backlog in? Some form of log presentation of what's happened in a system after I've jumped. Is that important for this sprint, Carl?
I think we should try and move that in if we can.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be big, but we should try to have something, I think.
Okay. Do you want to put that towards the bottom then?
I would put it. I'll just move it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
Hey,
honest.
George, do you want to make another log?
Yeah, I love making logs.
Logs. Visual log? I don't know.
I'm not gonna touch that one.
Good choice. Okay, and then we'll leave those two in the backlog.
Yeah, I think we'll leave those backlog for now.
Cool. Right
The thing with the refactor resource pools, I would like to do design on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we want to talk about spread that out, because I don't want to implement
Can
it.
we just
but
make
I'd
a
really
separate
like to
card?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah. I'll
wanna
start a
add
card
one
at the bottom. I know.
In release
that's-
5.
Yeah.
Okay. Start a card. Okay, let's start sizing release 5.
Are you gonna say something, Carl?
No.
Oh, okay.
Card number 1, the highly descriptive Get All the Playtesters. Who would like to add specifics for what this is and what we're going to do here?
So with the push release that we do today, we should be clear to start shoving people into our Discord that we want to go and get. And so this is probably not the like go wide, do a test, get rando strangers, but this is probably like tap all of our personal networks pretty hard to try and get people into the Discord to start playing the game. And probably that's a slow ramp up. Like we start slow early this week, get a few people through, adjust as we understand what the pain points are, and then next week really go hard in trying to tap our personal networks to get people in. But yeah, so that's getting people in, hand holding the journey, getting all the processes set up, but everyone hitting up having a couple rounds of personal network hit up that they understand how to do.
Okay. Whoa.
But like I know we also need to get tools like getting the video up and maybe just a quick document of like quick start guide or whatever. Just because like Jake Rice tried to jump in last night and he was like, "This looks cool, but I have no idea what I'm doing."
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
I was sadly out and about, so I couldn't handhold him through. And I was like, "There's a new build tomorrow. Just wait for it."
So how to play quick start. Week 1, start onboarding and feeling out the waters and process. And then week 2 is active recruitment of friends and family network.
Yep.
Okay.
Ready to size?
So one other piece I'd like to put in here. So we have week 1 is starting onboarding and feeling the waters and process. So week 2, if we stick to our guns, are we going to be do we want to be shooting for weekly releases or bi-weekly releases? Where we release every Monday or we release every other Monday? I think we've been targeting every other Monday, but I bring it up only for the fact that early on, a cadence of every week is going to feel better to playtesters and keep them more engaged.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, I think for now we should target every evaluate a build every Friday with the intention of trying to have a build every Friday that we can push on Monday. But the mid sprint build is we can easily defer. So there's basically we absolutely must have a build once a sprint at the end of the sprint. Ideally, we have a second build mid sprint. But if for whatever reason we're just not in a position to do it, it's less of a big deal to delay that one.
Okay. So, and the reason I bring it up in the context of this ticket is that one of the things that we should figure out is the way we're going to do patch notes.
Yes.
And that should be that first, like we get everybody in, we start feeling it out, and we do our first patch notes on that release next Monday if we make one. So that when everybody comes on board, they can see, oh, this is what changed.
Yeah. Patch notes and managing the release roadmap to sort of show stuff as well, whether that's our patch notes or we have patch notes separately or how we want to do it. That's a whole thing to figure out, I think. And that's part of that card that I was like, Hans, you should just do this because you think about this more.
Hang on a second. Lynn just got here. She just woke up. Keep going.
Okay. That's this card though. I don't.
Do we have another card around feedback? Like
play
how
test,
we're gonna
collate the feedback and stuff. Yeah, that's a card that's already in the sprint that is I'm owning right now. If you want to help me with it, I would love help with it and thinking through it. It's just like how do we prime people inside the Discord to provide feedback in the right way, setting up a couple documents that can easily be Discord command linked to people so that the community can self-reinforce, and habits for us around how we react to stuff to make sure people feel heard. Is my thoughts around that stuff. But
all right, we ready to size? Lynn has been given her late wake up breakfast instructions. So
yes.
Okay. For get all the playtesters. 3, 2, 1. So we got an 8, a 5, an 8, a 5, and a 5. So because it stretches over 2 weeks and involves coordination, I'd lean towards the 8, despite the fact I voted 5 and you can't see my hand.
Yeah,
that's why I was leaning to 8.
I'm fine with an 8. I don't think it will actually be the effort of an 8. It's just spread out, and so there's big pauses in the work. But
I do think it may. So yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if we want to make it an 8, that's fine.
8
Yeah,
it is.
I think there's going to be iteration, and we don't know how deep that iteration goes when we start getting bug feedback and so on and so forth. So I think I'm good with 8. Okay.
Don't wait. It's 8.
Oh my goodness.
God.
As a player, I want to be able to return to a run in progress so that I don't have to finish a run in a single sitting. Is still 21?
Yep.
It's not 42.
42.
I do believe if we wait another sprint, it's going to probably go to like a 34.
Yeah.
It just gets worse.
Yep.
Yikes.
Agreed.
We'll jump on it. As a player, I want audio feedback to correspond with my interaction with elements in the game.
That was the old ticket, and I just read.
Yep, which is fine. So I think it is good to call this out. Do we have any idea of how deep we want this rabbit hole to go?
When you
probably
click
just
I think we want it to be kind of shallow.
Yeah, I think it's just mostly when you click buttons.
Yep.
There's stuff there when you click ships, when pop-ups show up, like
button
general.
hovers,
I think
clicks.
I think it's very specific, reinforcing interaction sounds. So when you are clicking buttons and when you are taking actions, there is sound reinforcement that you did a thing.
Yep.
And that's all we need to do for now.
Yeah.
Okay, sound interaction.
Yeah.
If you see any low-hanging fruit of like, hey, whenever you use when the grand celebration ability actually happens, you have a cheer happen. Sure, add it. Like,
sure. Okay.
But I wouldn't go super.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh God. Okay. Yes. All right. So let's size this one. 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna say a 5.
We got 5s across the board.
Yeah.
Do it. We should try and keep a pretty tight box to about
George, you're terrible.
What?
You are terrible.
Nothing's on stream.
I know, but you're making me laugh. As a
Good.
player,
Good.
I want every system I jump into to feel like it has a structure to it and present beautiful dynamic picture so that I am visually engaged with each new system. This one is kind of that's a hard one to size. So what do we think? Let's break this down a little bit into what steps we think we need to take to get to the point of this being something realistic. Because I think this is too big to be like, yeah, that sounds
The
good.
first thing we need to do is talk about the UX of what a system looks like. Because right now it's just basically we just lob some planets on the screen and some semblance of a pattern.
I mean, there's the diagram, and there is the first stab at that, and I think we can absolutely talk through that. I think that basically it's we know where the fleet ends up in the system, and then we understand how to position the camera frustrum such that it captures basically what we want. And I have strong thoughts there, so we can just talk through it, write that out.
Is there any way we can get effectively like a mock-up made?
Sure.
Just use some basic art.
Yeah,
Being
actually-
like, yeah, this is if we're jumping into the system, this is what the camera would be looking at, and how. It would help.
Yeah,
probably,
like,
more than just
I
words.
think we need to do a meeting similar to Design Time or Programadores.
Yeah, I
like-
just called it a design time
And
meeting.
it's
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
UX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UX, some kind of UX thing, like a UXtra.
Yeah.
You know?
So I added the checklist is design time meeting for system ship UX. How do we want these to look and feel? Then a line for how does the camera work with this? Create a mock-up.
Implement it.
Create mock-up of desired look and feel.
But even beyond that, there's also a step where we need to design the solar system generation algorithm. So basically, like, what are the procedural steps to making a solar system? Because how it looks is basically just once you have whatever solar system, you put the fleet there, spawn the camera here, and you position it facing whatever way.
Isn't
Are
that
you talking
part of
about the
what's already
data for the
done?
system? Wait, are you talking about the data for the system, or are you talking about the look of the system?
Both.
Okay,
'Cause
the
the data's
data of
already
the
done,
system is
right?
already done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't mean that it can't change. Obviously, it will change over time.
Right, but I think the data for the system is pretty basic right now. It's here's up to 6 celestial objects per system, and here's the resources that are on that. I'm talking less about that and more like what is the star? How many celestial objects are in there? What are these things that represent orbit and size and relationship of those celestial objects, such that we can place it in a system such that we can position a camera and spawn it where it looks good. So it has.
I don't mean contradictory, but everything you listed just now, data-wise, already exists.
Yeah.
Sure.
Not looks-wise, not aesthetics. There's nothing to do with placement of stuff or anything.
Right.
It's just simply
Right.
data already exists such that we can do it, and it's not limited to 6 objects. It's limited to whatever.
Right.
Sure, but
So
the
we
data
need to
is
finalize
just
the map. We
Yes.
need to finalize the map between that data and how it's going to present on screen.
yes,
I think that's what we're trying to get at.
Yeah.
Correct?
yes,
Okay. Finalize solar system generation and how it maps to placement.
yes.
Is the
That sounds. Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, I really
Okay.
want to talk about that at some point.
Yeah. Okay. And that'll definitely be something that spawns out of this other work, because then we get an idea of like, what do we need to implement? Do we need to start talking about things like orbits and things like that, or can we get away without it? All of that jazz. Okay. All right. Anything else in here? So create a mock-up, finalize solar system generation, then obviously implement the crap out of it. So
Make
make it so.
so.
Any other details we want to add?
Thanks for hosting us, Patrick.
Yay! Thanks, Patrick.
Yay, that's awesome. It's so funny.
You'll see it in our public. You'll see it in our public Discord in the off topic.
Okay. All right. So
Hi, Santora. Happy Monday.
Oh
feel
god.
better.
No. No. Yes. Wait. Yes.
Okay. Let's keep on target, people.
Yeah. Okay.
All
We're
right.
back.
So, we have these. Do we want to dive into any of the implementation steps that we're going to need here, or do we want to wait on those basically because we have so much discovery?
Wait.
I think we have so much discovery.
Yeah. Size. Shall we size this for now, and we may end up having to come back and break out some additional cards later?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. We got a 5, a 5, a 13, an 8, and an 8.
I was between a 5 and an 8 on this.
Yeah, and with the implementation rolled in, I kind of lean towards George on.
If it's implementation, it is. Yeah, with implementation, it's probably 13.
So I was actually considering a 21, but then I was like, nah, it's probably 30.
Yeah, I think it's a 13. I think there may be cards that get spun up that have to do with a lot of like changes in the ways we do materials or things of that sort, which makes this a much bigger card. But is everybody comfortable with the 13 for now in terms of at least getting through the discovery and initial framework for how this affects the solar system generation?
Sure.
And implement.
I mean, so
yes, implementing the initial piece, maybe not getting into all the detail and polish, but
yeah.
Getting
I think that's fine. 13 is fine. I think partially because I have a really strong idea of what I want to do. I just don't know the precise like numbers in the algorithm at the baseline level. Like, but I have a really strong idea of how I want to approach this. That I'm maybe undervaluing it, but so I'm fine with a 13.
Okay.
So
we can always back off later if we need to.
Yep.
Okay. All right. As a player, I want adapting music as I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We have 4 tracks of separated music right now for in-game.
Okay, so
And it's
use
like-
the existing tracks.
Yep.
Do we have any way of transitioning between them? Are they like written? such
No,
that-
we actually want to make it so that they add additive on top of each other, which is possible in UE.
Okay, so which is
I've never done it, but we have to give. I've done basic background research into it is possible. We need to know when we should add in addition. Like we have
Were
one
they-
track playing, like add
Were
in
they
the
specifically
chords.
composed to
Yes.
play together?
Yes.
Then perfect. Yeah, that shouldn't be hard.
This is like, so I implemented the music on Friday. On the main menu is all 4 pieces playing together at the same time into a single track. In game, I'm only playing the most basic piano rhythm, so it's just keys playing. It's very distant, and there's a chords track,
man.
there's a choir track, and there's a one other track on that can all be added, blended in, and to make the grand song.
So we have use
Gotta
existing
make work
tracks,
with you on this.
make audio additive, and design the sound interaction.
Yeah, and I've just done research. It's not not simple, I would say, to do the blend, like adding the tracks in, because we have to know when should we.
Yep.
And there's affecting different. You have to set up the cues right as well, so that their graphs will do if else's and things like that, and you can set variables and again,
That's
not
exciting.
not trivial.
No.
Not oh my god hard like save system.
Okay.
So
Size.
all right.
3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 5, 5.
I'm fine
You
with
okay
5.
going with 5? All right, 5 it is. As a player, I want every system I jump into. That's 13. As a player, I'm at 5. As a company, I would like to have test ads for marketing and budgeting, marketing, campaign planning. Sized at a 3. Do we still feel it's a 3 and we feel it's part of release 5? Yeah.
Yep. For the amount of work it is, I think it's a 3.
Okay. Time boxed creation, content creation with the whole team. Do we still feel like we need to do that in this sprint? We were pretty eager about it last week, but we've had some time to soak on it.
Yeah, I still think we need to do this.
So just to clarify, this is to basically go through quests, events, installations, abilities, ship, and star system stuff, which star system stuff is probably actually going to be in the other round of stuff that George is going to be working on. But where we do a time box with the team and go through, look at the data that's there, create some new stuff, or identify stuff that needs to be implemented to expand the systems, and then breaking out that work. Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll time box this to basically 1 day during this sprint. And we will have maybe 2-hour meetings during that day where we go through and we do this work.
Sounds reasonable to me.
One time box, 1 day, 2 2-hour meetings. Okay, so we won't size that, but we will bracket. One day, whole team. Okay. As a player, I want to see ship captain images on the events that pop. Carl put this in here because he doesn't want his face in there anymore.
Correct.
So I don't think this has any more description we need than that. Size it. 3, 2, 1.
2 or 3.
3, 2, 1. Yep, I'm good with 2.
Yeah. I think the only reason it's a 2 instead of a 1 is because we need to maybe just talk briefly about things that don't involve ship captains.
Yep, and what appears in there during that. Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's Carl.
Yeah,
As a-
actually, it's already solved. Can you take that picture of Carl, and put it through the stylization filter?
Yep.
Hate
Done.
all of
On it.
you.
Good.
Hate all of you.
Done.
Hatred. So much.
As a player, I manage ship captains' specialties and personalities to be able to make game decisions. So this one very much has, from what I can tell, a shitload of design decisions baked into that title. So
Yeah.
let's talk about what does this mean.
Design
So-
time.
Design
we have-
time to determine MVP.
Yeah.
Of this
That's a
system.
good
Yeah,
call.
and to be clear, I
Agree.
kept this in release 5 because I felt like it was a system that you guys wanted to get in before the Steam update or before we go to
Yes.
Steam. So that's why it's still here. Otherwise, I'd be fine kicking this down, but it seemed like you guys wanted to deal with it now.
Yeah, it seems like having at least the skeleton of it in place would be good.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
it would
it's probably the MVP focuses more specifically on specialties. Like, what does a captain bring to a ship, basically? Having that captain in your fleet.
Yeah. We had scoped it as a special action
Yeah,
for
passive.
the ship as a
and
passive
active.
or passive, and a link to faction loyalty to kind of help move that system, or help have that system feel more connected to the rest of the game.
So we have the design portion of this that focuses on those. So like he was saying, either personality or faction affecting personality, passives or special actions. Does this also include implementing the stub of those?
Yeah, MVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it would be-
Implementing the MVP, not just defining it.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
We don't have faction passes right now.
We don't.
No.
okay. Does every captain? Do we have one initial implementation for every captain that appears, or is there just
It's probably procedurally
captains?
generated.
right? But I'm saying like
Does every
in the
captain have
game,
something?
yeah.
Probably.
Does every captain have something? When I start, I have 4 ships, and those 4 ships each have a captain, and each captain has this, and we are done with those. At least the first version of those by the time this card is done, or is it one captain we have has one of these abilities, and if you happen to get that captain, you get this ability.
Oh.
Tactically, not systemically.
Should have something.
So we should have one thing
Like-
for every potential captain.
We should have a bucket of things that can be pulled.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I think there should.
And it
be
doesn't.
some
I mean,
potential negative stuff.
captains are random, so they can just pull one of those things and put it on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
Bucket
every
of
captain
abilities
Each captain
Yes,
gets one thing.
will pull something from this bucket.
with no overlap.
I don't
Yes.
know if the overlap or
I
whatnot
think
can
we should
happen.
have an overlap. Yeah.
No overlap.
No overlap.
I mean, just imagine this is a part of the draft phase. You should probably
Yeah,
be able to
I'm
like,
fine with overlap right
have
now.
overlap.
I
Yeah.
don't think.
Okay.
It'll also create more like broken combos,
Yes.
which will be good.
I'm a fruit
Okay.
strike disagree.
So a bucket of abilities for all captains can include overlap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Story points. 3, 2, 1. Blah, I'm late. I don't know. I'm gonna go with the crowd. 8. I didn't hold up my hands at all.
8 is
bad,
great.
I think it's mostly a lot of content generation.
Yeah.
There. Yeet.
As a player, I
Not
want to
turning
see
trigger.
some form of log presentation of what has happened in its system after I have jumped.
So I feel like this is a rework of the population screen more than anything. We want to keep track of more, like a easy way to keep track of what has happened. So we can just be like, here's an event that happened, whatever, just put it in this list, and then we can display it on the jump screen when you've jumped, of being like, hey, this is what happened.
Well, we have all the sources of changes to resource buckets, right?
We do. This would be more like, oh, you failed this quest, you finished this quest, you scanned these planets, you got these resources. I think that's probably the
Yeah. Like the
this-
plus minus of your resources and
Yeah.
all the additional information. Faction
Faction
loyalty
change.
changes would be big.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I mean, I think at a baseline level, like we could start just saying like every time you jump, here's the delta of all the resource pools, and then we can start adding more stuff to that log from there. But even just starting with here are the delta on pools would be pretty beneficial, I think.
Hans, add a population to that list. Population changes or whatever the word is.
Okay.
Installations added. Should actually probably list that explicitly. I feel like that's easy to forget.
How about ship changes?
Yeah.
Because like if you lost a ship, it'd be good to call out. Okay. Do these need to be in a linear order, or can these just be tallies?
These are just summaries.
Okay.
And we should earmark this for Tyson design time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready to size?
Sure.
3, 2, 1. 5s across the board. Nice. Celestial Bodies Encounter, we have that as an 8. I jumped back. There we go. As a player, I want to see events pertaining to the new systems. So this basically a content creation card, write events and add to game start and playtesting them. So is this effectively a element that we want to put a requirement of completion that we want to put to the time box card, or do we see this as a uniquely separate thing?
The former.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
kind
think
of what
it's
I feel.
I was
part
gonna
of
say, I
that
feel
one.
like this is a deletable.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take this and add it to the other card, and then delete this card. Where are time box?
There it is.
Okay. As a player, I want to see events pertaining to new systems that have been implemented. That's what I just deleted, didn't I?
Was it just kind of a duped one?
Which one?
Events pertaining to the systems. Okay.
Did you delete the wrong one, Hans?
I don't think so, but maybe I'll have to look.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were both content creation cards, specifically. One was
okay.
events, one was events, and one was the systems. Because we kicked both of the content creation
sorry.
cans down the can.
That's the one you. That is actually a card that we still want.
Yeah, exactly.
Which one?
Unique
As a player,
fleet.
I want to start with a unique fleet.
Oh yeah, okay. Undo, Control Z.
I keep resizing browser windows in when we're streaming and to like have more show more of the game being played or whatever, and then I'll like accidentally resize something and I'll be like, damn it, Control Z, and it doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do anything.
I'm
Yep.
so mad.
Okay, so this one.
All right. This one goes away.
Boink, boink.
Okay.
All right. As a player, I want to start with a unique fleet. So I feel like I'm on a unique journey. How far down this rabbit hole do we want to go for release 5?
We have
We're pretty
What
far
was it?
down it already.
yeah, I'm trying to find the design. We have a doc we should just link out of here that we had notes on what we wanted.
Refilling, coughing really quick. BRB.
I mean, I guess are we doing this or are we gonna do the draft?
Here it is.
The draft isn't that draft part of this? I thought it
Yeah,
was.
that's what the draft is. That's what we were talking about.
Mhm.
So it's in here. It's the draft at the beginning.
Okay, so I'm going to link this.
But this is also somewhat tied to the captain thing as well.
Player starts the flag shift. Players draft ships until they have a 4-ship fleet. Each ship draft option shows a captain, faction, ship abilities, installations, and resources that come with cost. Player sees 1 ship at a time.
Yeah, baby.
1 fuel. Oh, rough.
Yeah, we increased the fuel count at the beginning though to like
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a little bit. You feel like you
Yeah.
have a little anti, but
And we're just presenting you with not an actual visual of the ship. It is that data. And it's basically a dialogue saying, it's the ship dialogue for the most part.
Yeah.
So you can just see that and you're like, do you want this or not?
Yeah.
Next.
Okay. So we kind of have an idea of what we're doing there. There's definitely discovery still to do around the edges, but we ready to size then, since you guys have already talked about it.
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
5 or an 8.
We got
Yes.
5, a 5, a 5, a 5, and wiggling fingers.
Wiggly fingers.
What is that? What is that?
Jazz
Jazz
hands.
hands, exactly.
What does it
So
even mean?
it means jazz hands.
Means
5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. As an employee, I want to see metrics that allow diagnosing the way systems are performing so that I can triage balance the game. I think we keep this time boxed and low. The idea of like every sprint, we look at 1 or 2 metrics that we might want to add so that we can sort of extend the system slowly.
Yep. I agree.
And so basically, this will be identifying from a design perspective or a business perspective elements that we want to be able to track without tracking users specifically. And then implementing that as part of the JSON that we deliver, which is the delivery is already set, and then building some dashboard representation on the side. So all the middle pieces are done. Is that enough for everybody?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. 3, 3, 3, 3, and an 8. I agree on the lower side because we've already done most of the work.
My bad.
Yeah, I think
we are reporting metrics. We actually do send metrics right now. We just don't send a bunch of data yet.
Hey, Marcus.
So it's like, what data do we want to send beyond start? Right now we have start time, we have end, and we have a reason why your game ended.
And a session ID.
And a session IDs to link all the session events together. But
yep.
I'll go with 3. 3 for free.
And like you said, this isn't everything. It's just like, hey, we have a few more things we want to track. Cool.
And I think this is going to become a reoccurring operation activity for us. This will be something we probably touch base on once we get into operations. Tooltip converted to Unreal type from global tooltip type.
Okay.
Boy, that's hard to say.
Tooltip
Tooltip from Unreal type for global tooltip type.
I touched nothing in this card. I just got rid of the Unreal tooltips looking like crap. So they all are custom, at least a custom widget at the moment. That's what I did.
Yeah. So I will talk to you about this at some point, Anthony, because now we have 2 generics in the folder, and I don't know which is right.
I updated all of them today because I wanted to get them consistent, and they were all over the place. So
yeah,
I used one that was there's a UE generic because you don't need to do the generic one that was created before did a bunch of repositioning code in it, and you don't need to do that yourself anymore because UE handles all the positioning.
Cool.
So just the UE generic is specifically called out like you can use this with the UE tooltip system without.
Okay.
But again, it's very generic and not really, I think, like this specifically calls out tool widgets.
So
maybe a meeting of the minds. Whoever takes on this card, a quick meeting of the minds to make sure everybody's on the same page. Refactor it one way and then let everybody know.
Okay, I'm ready to estimate.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, 5. Totally.
Really?
5, 2. I got a 3. Brandon's got a 3. So 5s. Who thinks it's 5? Why and why?
I feel like it's actually mostly based on that first thing, create tooltip widgets for all those different things.
We already have like half of them.
But the abilities and everything don't give you the information I'd probably want to see on a tooltip, is the thing.
I saw new information in those recently.
Do we get all of it?
It looked
it's
like it.
Really easy to do that.
Okay.
Shall we compromise, call it a 3?
I'd compromise it a 3 then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Let's not dwell too long.
Okay, cool.
All right. Steam product page. Base product page with wish list ability. That also then is going to include description.
It should hopefully be a bunch of stuff we mostly already have.
Yeah. Videos.
It's probably just busy work more than anything. Maybe resizing things. But
Well, I
don't
mean,
think-
there'll be some screenshots and like the
Yeah.
work that we don't necessarily have, but we need to do anyways, like screenshots, make sure we have the videos put together, blah 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 blah.
Pricing matrix.
$1 million.
$1 million.
If we got through all that stuff, we'd probably be all right. Yeah, okay. 3, 2, 1. 5, 5, 5, 3, 3.
I can go to 5.
I'm with 5.
There's
Like I don't think it's hard work. It's just a lot of
It's just a lot of
Yeah.
cut paste preview, rewrite, cut
and,
Yeah.
paste
and,
preview.
and because Steam's documentation is terrible.
actually, let me add one other thing here that may change this.
Great. Do we go up to an 8 or not?
Jenkins pipeline. I'm moving it to an
I'd still put it at 5. Are you going to 8? with
I'm going to
Jenkins
8
pipeline?
with Jenkins because we have to figure out like how we want to support, you know, the beta workflow versus the release workflow, how we put those together, what is the process so that other people can do it, not just me.
Single point of failure, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. So we got
Yay, single points of
8.
failure.
It's an 8. Week 35 video, week 36 video.
don't we have standard sizing for this now?
Yeah,
That's
we
what
just
I
call
was
it a
gonna
3.
say.
3.
3-3. Did it. Last one.
33. It's a 33. Done.
Hey.
Last one. As a player, I would like to know and control where my resources are held and which and where which ships they
Where, yeah.
from when I
And
use
which
an
ships
ability
they come from.
that has a cost. Yeah.
I'll
So
change it.
how close is that to refactoring resource pools?
This is the design piece for it.
Oh, right. Okay. Right.
Mm.
Got it. So
This
as a
is-
designer,
Yeah, as a designer, I should say. This is not as a
yeah.
player. This is as a
Yeah,
designer.
as a designer, I would like to know how players control where their
no,
resources
yeah, how players,
No.
how
As a designer, I would like to be able to tell the engineers how to engineer the thing such that the players can control and the artist can make.
somebody update that card.
Okay.
I'm lost.
I got it.
No, it's fine. I was making a joke.
While someone updates,
You
Come on,
confused me,
it's
Carl. I'm
ideas.
useless now.
As a producer, I would like to know how to update this card to tell the designers that.
Cool.
as an employee, I quit.
You're drinking red wine in Greece. Shut up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Grape juice.
it's been so long.
Grape
It's been
juice.
so long since I've had a stem on my glass. This is like a big no-no for the.
Oh, okay. We ready to size this one, or do we want additional data?
Ready?
3,
Anyone else?
Designers talk in a room.
1.
Yeah.
3, 5,
3 and a
5,
5.
3.
Mm.
I believe
I'm-
the 5s. on
Big
that.
one. You what? What'd you
You
say,
said
Grant?
fine with 5, Brandon?
Yeah, I said I'm fine
I
with
think it's
5
going to
on
be
that one.
some bigger talks.
Hey-
Maybe we'll get there.
Yeah.
Hey,
like,
George.
immediately and be like, cool, awesome. done.
Santora wants some of your grape juice.
Oh, really? Oh,
We'll go to
I'm
Greece.
excited. I've never met you, but here, I'll type. But already love you. Heart.
Okay. That is all of our sizing.
Actually, I don't know. I feel like it depends on the situation. If you met George while I'm around, you two would unite in your trolling of me, and it'd be great.
It'd be great for us.
Yeah, not for me.
All right. So we're at 46 in the carry,
Jesus.
and we are at 108 in the release 5.
Yeah, we can do this.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, crying. Then why don't we go through before we go in and start saying, hey, what do we shift? Why don't we go through and identify who would like to be champions on cards in release 5 so we can see what the overlap looks like?
Yep.
So if people can jump into the sprint planning board, we'll put the link in here again for anybody who needs it.
So I'm just gonna put.
And then if you want to be a champion for a card, add yourself as the label. If you feel like you're going to contribute, add yourself as a member. Okay?
Oh, can we add myself as a label here?
Yep.
In here? Oh, I
think
can't.
so.
Maybe. Show more labels. I'm not a label.
You should be.
Not
Are you
in the
sure?
planning board.
Well,
Oh wow, you are.
make yourself a label.
Yeah, just add it.
You were probably in Yellowstone when we set this up, and also we hate you.
That's true.
I don't hate you.
We hate Brandon for not hating
That's fair.
That'd be green.
Oh, whoops. Hans, I'm changing the audio feedback thing to you as the
Okay. As the champion?
yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna do the audio. I was gonna do the music.
The music one. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I'll
really
take that
want
one.
to do that.
Yeah, I'll be glad to take the UI one.
I wouldn't mind. I mean,
Music.
at least consult on audio.
Yeah, Brandon. Go, man, go. That'd be
mean,
awesome if you ran that.
Everybody better join the time box content creation card. Otherwise,
No.
what's the
Oh, we're
Everybody
also
but
adding our
Carl.
faces. Whoops.
fine, Carl?
I was just going as
Stink cheeseburger.
Well, I mean, the only thing is that we need to schedule that when I'm at a stable place to join, because I'll be traveling this week.
You're never stable.
Well, I don't mean emotionally stable. I mean, like, I am in the same place with a computer, like when I'm at Ant's house or when I am at Hans's house. I will, Patrick. When are you coming to the mainland again?
Oh god.
4 drink tickets per person? That's reasonable. I bought a
what?
bottle of wine from the hotel today because I was like, it's Monday. That seems a good idea. And it was expensive, but it was worth it.
So, Brandon, you want to take point on the Steam product page?
Yeah.
Awesome. I will be your
We need to get him
framework.
added as an admin thing
Yes.
there.
I'm gonna be on I'm kind of on a few other cards, but I really am only.
Yeah, you're
I'm just like, man, there's one major thing, and that's gonna probably take all my time. I'll be honest.
Yep.
Okay, I will. Brandon,
Mhm.
you have a bunch of stuff.
But I do care about.
So we have one is as a player, I want to start with a unique fleet so that I feel like I'm on a unique
I'll do
journey
that one.
not have a champion.
Yeah, I'll do that one. That's
For
fine.
the managed ship captain specialties and personalities for in-game decisions, is that including implementation, or is that just the design work?
It
Oh,
is.
It is implementation of a bucket of abilities.
Then I will not champion
I'll
that.
jump on that as well.
The
But I
as a
mean, I'm
player,
sure
I
I'm
want to
still
Champion that, Brandon. It doesn't mean you have to do the work.
Yeah, just championing it means you're just the product owner of that.
You're
card.
driving it.
Oh,
forward.
okay.
So why don't you take that one,
Yeah,
Brandon?
I can champion
Take
that.
it from me. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
so
take the ship captain images, despite the fact that I may need to ask for help, and
Sure.
I can
Where'd it go?
collaborate with you, George, or delegate some engineering stuff to you.
No worries.
going pretty well. We're getting towards the end of it.
So let's see.
All right, there we
I
go.
think Hans, you said your buddy's name is Nate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have, as a player, I want to see some form of log presentation. It doesn't have a champion yet. That one.
I'm just
Do you want to take it?
I can take it. I'm just
Okay.
leery of taking too much just because I'll be traveling and I don't want to
Okay.
drop the ball too bad.
Why don't,
But
why
I
don't
can
you
do
let-
it since I can push it to Tyson and get help with it.
Okay. Okay. You
Make
can always
Tyson
shift that card
champion.
over to me if you need to.
Yeah.
So you could shift that one over to me. I think I was the original requester of it anyway. So
I'm sorry for the thumping.
You're fine.
Oh, here
It's
it
the
is.
best.
okay, cool. All right, Carl.
Hi.
If we take a look at release 5 and we take a look at the carry from release 4,
Okay.
at the bottom of these, we have the design work for refactoring the resource pools. We have the week 35, week 36 videos, and we have the Steam product page. Steam product page is a must. So my assumption is that that's the rock bottom of what we have to get done this sprint.
Yep.
On below that area and anything on release 4 that you feel we can slide to release
Should
5.
we switch release 5 to the other board yet?
Oh yeah, why don't we move that over? That'll make it easier. Good call.
I already have something we should move.
Move list.
I think we should
I did it.
Oh, you did
kick
it.
the
5.
we should kick the tooltip. I know it's important and everything, but
I went through a consistency pass on them today, so they at least all look the same.
I don't even care if they look the same, even content wise. I'm just like, I think it's probably fine for right now. Like I'm not happy with it, but at the same
No.
time, so many other things that are so much more important.
Okay.
I don't know what you guys think.
I'm personally okay with it. That is like by definition tech debt.
Yeah.
We're saying,
Yeah.
it's like we have to figure out, oh well, which tool type is this? What's it gonna be? How do we deal with it? Yada yada yada.
I think we just solve it as you go for what you have to, at least temporarily. We'll solve the tech debt later of
So
if-
somebody needs to make the determination of what is the final path we're going to use for them at minimum, because then we can solve them as we get in there.
there's already examples for installations that work well for right now.
Okay.
So people just follow the example of an installation.
Okay.
It's fine.
So I think
Pop
I-
that out.
I think that both of the videos and everything below that Steam product page can probably be moved. The only asterisk is with the videos. We need to make sure to. It sounds like we're going to have some really good content creation and game design talks this week, and potentially a good UX talk. We need to make sure to record those. But we have We have a little bit of backlog of video where I think we can get away without editing too much video this sprint. And we already have a shit ton of other stuff. So Brandon can get to it if he has time, but we can potentially defer those hours to next sprint so that we can get through more of this sprint. Some of the website stuff I'm back and forth on. Like on one hand, I sort of feel like we need to definitely do it, and there's a lot of overlap between that and Steam product pages. On the other hand, like getting the game up and running feels more important. So
Agreed.
like that stuff I'm fine moving towards the end of the list, but trying to do stuff that like some of this we already have a bunch of stuff for, so it's just like knocking it out really quick.
So I'm going to move the design portion of the resource pools, the GBG website refactor,
Yep.
over into the backlog,
Yep.
the sprint board backlog, so
Yep.
that if we get cycles, we slide over.
I think we could push celestial bodies feeling diverse so that we have depth in every system feeling exploring. The reason why I say that is, I mean, I say that with a heavy heart, but I say that because we're going to have I want to start with a unique fleet and I want captains to have special abilities. So I think already we have enough content to keep this release going from an interesting perspective for our playtesters. That's why I feel like we can push it.
I would agree.
Is that one separate than the
And the design of how it
dynamic
looks.
picture thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's different.
Okay.
Than that.
So move that one, you think, into the backlog?
Yeah.
I already got it.
All right, thanks.
Why does my
I'm not saying this to troll you, Carl, but as a player, I want to see ship captain images on events that pop. I think we can push that. We can just pick to like it would be trivial to just pick a different image if you really dislike having space there, Carl. Or just removing the
or
image.
remove the image for now.
Yeah.
So to be clear, like as much fun as it is to joke about it, I just hate my face.
Yeah.
It's actually that the initial intent of that card was to make sure that we were personifying the game and making it clear that your relationships with captains were important in general. That's why we were doing that, was to refactor those interfaces such that it was person forward.
And I don't think it's big.
And I think we should push it anyway because it's not. We don't even have really that much content captain wise. Like it's.
Okay.
I feel like it would be better suited to a release that has more of the captain interactions and the dating stuff.
Do we have faction icons yet?
No.
No. I mean, we don't even have faction names specifically yet.
So what do you guys think?
We just
Pushing
have descriptors.
images on events. Now we can just add a bug that says Carl's face appears everywhere with events.
It's only a 2, but we'll pull it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just looking for I just feel like we're gonna finish about what have you been averaging? What, like 75?
I need to go back and take a look at this last sprint.
Release 4 done, we did 63.
Okay. And we probably did, we did a chunk of other things as well in the thing we're already doing.
Yeah, I think the ads put us probably somewhere in the 80s.
Okay. So adapting music stuff. Do we absolutely have to do that in this release?
No.
No.
Then let's push it.
I would say the UI stuff needs to be in,
Yes.
but I'd say the adapted stuff could slide.
Yeah. I'm talking specifically about the music adapting.
Yep.
I really want to do that, but
I don't think it has to be in the sprint.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could be pushed.
Do we really need playtesters? No, sorry.
Yes.
So the other big one is the I manage ship captains' specialties and personalities to make game decisions. I kind of feel like that and the draft are tied together.
They are tied together.
Makes this interesting.
Yep.
Make game start interesting. So
They
I feel
are.
like we can leave them.
Yep.
Okay.
How much is left in release 5 right now? How do we see that? I forgot.
If you click the Agile Tools button at the top, so release 5 we have 79, and release 4 we have 39.
There we go.
So that puts
All
us
right,
at
that feels good for me. I don't know about you guys.
I would just love it if I could actually see the backlog. Like my sprint board is not refreshing.
Yeah, I press Agile Tools and I don't get anything.
Have you hit refresh
something?
button?
What the hell happened to the backlog?
206 points. What?
Total. That's across the duns as well. So in release 5
backlog?
it's 91, and in release 4 it's 46. We're working out of sprint board now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we're looking at Hans, and Hans's screen refreshed to what mine looks like.
Yeah,
which
I no
doesn't
longer
have,
see
which
where the
didn't have the
backlog went.
backlog column.
Yeah, it's gone for me.
I didn't delete anything.
I guess it's time to check archives.
Yeah, I'll go and pull that back after we're off stream. Okay.
Actually, I feel bad about this then.
Oh yeah. There are 2 sprint backlogs in the archive right now, so one of them is there.
I mean, we're at 137 points. not including the doing column.
Yeah, something went totally sideways.
Is
Well,
that wrong? Not at
yes,
130.
That is incorrect. Yeah.
That is totally all incorrect. Because if we were watching,
Something did not save in.
yeah, because there was a whole column where we were moving stuff out.
Okay. Either way,
Ugh.
we know where we are. We know where
Yeah.
we're. So I'll de-archive and then rebuild what we had in the. Go from there.
So
So this
so
afternoon,
what were we at?
We were at around 120.
120.
From a content perspective, it feels like we're probably on. We will probably still have some carry, but like we said last week, we're identifying what we're sprinting towards MVP wise. We're not working on getting our discipline from a sizing perspective right now.
Yeah.
So we made the commitment that we're willing to work this way for a few sprints. So
And just to be really clear, right? Like these next couple sprints are going to be hard, stressful sprints. We are in a ship cycle. We are full on tilt in a ship cycle. That means things are hard. There's lots to do, and you just have to ruthlessly prioritize and use your time as wisely as possible. Use the fact that we're in remote and distributed, and if you're feeling frustrated or burnt out, get up, walk away, take a break, come back refreshed. We need to push as hard as we can without burning ourselves out and just methodically get through it and get through it in a smart way. So just do what you can and don't let yourself get overwhelmed by what's in the backlog. We're always going to have more in the backlog and stuff we want to get done. We just need to just plod through it, ruthlessly prioritize every task, right? Like, what is the minimum I can do here to get us moving forward and get to the next thing? And we can always swing back around and do more polish. We can always swing back around and do a second iteration on things. But it's just about clearing things off and getting the baselines in so we can move forward and ship the fucker. So just get yourself balanced, get your grape juice where you need it, and all that stuff.
Is that where I put it on the public roadmap? Ship the fucker. That's what I'm supposed to put on the public roadmap.
Probably not, but I say that a lot. So
can we push the Dubers task?
I mean, it can go to the backlog, it's sure, because it was always one that I just want to pick up if I feel like I have time to do it. Or I'm in a mood where I'm going to strangle something because of save game stuff, and I just want to do something simple that I can knock out and feel good about.
I feel like we should put that into the backlog.
Yeah, put it there.
Go ahead and drag it into bugs for right now. I got to figure out what the hell happened.
Me?
Anyone, whoever.
Okay, I will do it. Oh, the debug menu with cheats and modifiers would make everything so much easier to test.
Where did this go to? Holy crap.
I'm so tempted to say put that in the backlog, but I think it would actually save us time in the long term, even in
I'm trying to think if it's faster to do that or if we could do some stuff quick through console commands. Trying to, because I've done a system.
What I do is
that was through console, just bring it up and you could type commands and it would give you this much resource, give you that, give you this thing.
I think it's basically about the same amount of work.
It probably is going to be at the same amount. Yeah.
Yeah, the cheat menu does not it needs to be pretty or anything. It just needs to be the dumpiest UI ever. The thing I think it's going to save work overall because right now, as an example, it just I just use the JSON files and modify stuff, but there's some stuff that can't be modified.
Yeah.
And I think debug stuff is going to be, and if we at least set it up so that it's moderately extensible for anyone who wants to add their own debug stuff, then it's going to just get better and better as time goes by. We're going to save more time over the long haul.
I would agree. Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it will make everything faster just having it done.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep it.
Okay. All right. So this afternoon, everyone, take things that you are a champion on, go through, come up with what your high level goals are, reach out to the people that are contributors on your ticket and get a plan together. And we will start sprinting.
Okay.
Did you say afternoon or did you say night?
Night.
What time is it for you, George?
It's 9:30. It's
Yeah.
totally dark.
It-
There's the window. It looks like the TV that's off.
In 1.5
Right over
units of grape drink, complete your things.
Wait, hold on. What is this?
I don't know. How do you measure your units of grape drink?
In happiness.
Well, take 1.5 units of it.
What's 1.5 units of happiness?
3 bottles
1.5
later,
units.
George is like, I'm getting to my cards, guys.
All right, let's wrap
Yep.
up this stream.
Yeah, let me out. What just happened?
See you all later.
All right.
Thank you very much,
I'm
everybody.
mad because he's right.
Did I nail exactly the right number of bottles?
No, not really. I can, if I'm adamant, I can do about a bottle a night by myself, but I gotta be really feeling it.
That's a bottle of bourbon, right?
No, I'm talking about wine. What, a bottle? I would be like in the ER if I did that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's blackout
oh.
territory.
I got, George will appreciate this. I got this weekend at a cookbook sale.
I can't read it. What does it say?
Guide to
Guide to
Urban
Urban Moonshining.
Oh no.
That's awesome.
Wait,
Oh my
Carl, are you
God.
gonna do it? Are you gonna use it?
I don't
Is this
know.
something that-
I mean, I think it's less like how-to guide, and it's put out by a distillery, and so I think it's more like a history and like how distilleries get started up and the history of this stuff in America. But I saw it and I was like, ooh, is this the next year of the bacon? It's year of the bourbon. But probably not. Probably not setting up a distillery inside my house because, yes, Patrick, house explosion.
Gotta get that hooch.
This is where I walk
I like how
away.
And
Patrick
we're
said
done.
he would.
Bye,
He
stream.
said he would sub for drunk dev stream. I'm like, are you? I've done that like 20 times.
All right.
That's
I
that's
think,
all George
I think
does.
with that statement from me, I'm also done.
Okay. Later, everyone.
Yeah,
Thanks for
I
tuning
think-
in.
Okay.
Say goodbye to
Bye.
the stream,
All right,
folks.
later.
Bye.